Woman here, and are you still not subscribed to Matt's channel? Well, if you're not, hit the subscribe button because he's giving out free picks each and every week. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
UFC 307 live from Utah, guys. Pereira versus Rountree live on pay-per-view. A main event I never thought we would see, and most people probably didn't. I'll break down this main card. The main event, of course, provide free picks, leans, price talk, fades, and more. Systemsportscapping.com or link.me/systemcapping to get my client card for this event. Long-term packages. Currently handicapping UFC, NFL, PGA, and the NHL. NHL futures have just been sent out to long-term clients. The big 28-7 pay-per-view run is on the line, guys. 4 clients this week. That's 80%. That's pretty much the full year so far for pay-per-view cards, the big cards. Average line, guys, keep in mind, plus money, not big, minus 300 favorites. Keep that in mind, guys. 2-5 parlays, just over 70%. 2023, 2024, that's long term. All cards, 66, 67% on the year. Down week last week in France. I tacked some value on Brandon Allen, plus 187. Hard to stay off that price. I thought that fight was pretty much a flip of a coin, so we were getting value on Allen. It turned out to be a very close fight, right? We saw Allen cruise in round 1, and that was the game plan. Get the fight down to the ground, grapple. And he was able to out-grapple Imavov in that first round, win the fight, or win round 1 clearly. Round 2 and 3 wasn't able to get the takedown, right? And on the feet, we knew Imavov would win the fight. I did believe he was the better striker, the more technical guy on the feet. But it was impressive that he was able to keep the fight standing. He was able to keep the fight standing. He did some adjustments, made some adjustments, and proved to get the fight. I did think he won the fight 2-1, but it was a close fight, right? But we knew Imavov won the fight because he clearly won 2 and 3. Brito, however, Brito got robbed by the judges. Clearly won the fight 2-1. Some people would say 3-0, but I thought he won 2-1. Gomes was able to lay on Brito for a lot of the first round, even though he really didn't do much. But he was able to probably steal the round in that. And in round 2 and 3, Brito got the takedowns. He landed the bigger shots, bunch of leg kicks, and then Gomes just very low volume. I don't remember what he did at all. I know he landed a couple decent shots in round 3, but it wasn't enough, right? Brito was able to get that takedown later in the round, landed the bigger shots. I don't see how any shot Gomes won that fight. If it was in Vegas, no way he wins that fight. So tough look there for the French judges. And then Saint Denis, I was on Saint Denis. I thought he was going to bounce back from that Poirier loss. And it was interesting to see how he struggled in the first round with the grappling and takedown. I did not see that coming. I know Moicano is a good grappler. I didn't mention that. I didn't see Saint Denis ever get dominated like that on the ground, and we saw it in the round 1, right? Round 2, he probably won that round. It was very close, so French judge probably would give it to him. He was able to keep the fight standing, right? He was able to keep the fight standing and steal, I think, the round, but it didn't matter because that punishment he took in round 1 was too much. The eye shut. I thought he could have went back out there, but the ref and the doctor came in, stopped the fight, and that's what happens when you get controlled and dominated and take that ground and pound punishment. Things can happen like that. And it's unfortunate to see how the fight ended. You don't want the fight to end like that. Same thing, he could have came back, could have caught Moicano with a big shot, but hats off to Moicano. I did not see him controlling him like that on the ground. We've never seen it before. So a big win for Moicano there. Hats off to him. Let's get right into this card, guys. Let's get right into this card. Shop around, like I always mention. Get the best available price out there. I was just looking at 4 or 5 books before doing this video, and they just all vary, right? For instance, this fight here, Pereira minus 480 versus Rountree plus 350. I've seen Pereira minus 500. I've seen Pereira minus 470. 480 was the average line. Rountree plus 50. You could get Rountree plus like 380 out there. If you like them. But these are average lines that I give out here. So let's talk about this one. The main event I never expected to see it all. This came out of left field. It was a curveball, whatever expression you want to use. This is not a fight I predicted or ever thought would happen, especially a few years back before Rountree went on this run. But even now, right? I think Rountree was like 2 fights away from a title shot. But hey, things fall in place. Cards lined up like this, and here we are. Now, on paper, this is a great fight, guys. This is a fan favorite fight. Let's be honest. We're going to see a kickboxing style with guys that both have power. Can't complain about that. And Rountree, what a story this guy has. This guy's story is unbelievable. Watch the embeddeds. Watch the documentary of Rountree. They're trying to, build him up a little bit here. Even when you hear him on Rogan, just a great story to get here, right? Tough struggles. Dad died early. Found MMA. He was drinking a lot, doing drugs, etc. And then found MMA, and here we are. He has a title shot against Pereira. Great story. Would love to see him win the belt, though. The story would be great. The movie would come out, etc. The door opened for him here. The timing was perfect. Here it is. You get your big shot. 5-fight win streak for him. Hasn't lost since 2021. Now, mind you, he doesn't fight it a lot, right? 5 fights since 2021. It's not a lot. The wins are low-tier mid guys, right? You can't really be too thrilled of the guys he's been beating. Right? Bukakis, Carl Roberson, Dustin Jacoby, Chris Daukaus out of the UFC, and an old wash Anthony Smith. Come on, guys. The resume difference between these two is like night and day. It's the biggest discrepancy I have ever seen between 2 resumes that I can recall. I'm sure there's bigger, but this is one of the bigger ones, especially for a title shot. Guys, you never see seeing a title shot minus 500. You don't like to see that, right? You like to see something a little closer. Looking at the stats and skill sets here, I don't have to tell you too much about Pereira. You guys know him. You see him all the time, fighting the best of the best, right? Going to be the more technical striker, has the death touch. And I do think he's improving his grappling and wrestling, and we could sneakily see him throw a takedown in here. I wouldn't be surprised. Rountree, 0 ground game, doesn't have 1 takedown in the UFC. I don't think he's have an attempt, to be honest. Good striker, good kickboxer, has power. Low volume, right? Rountree under 4 significant strikes per minute, hits like a truck, will come forward, will pressure Pereira. That's where Pereira could counter him and catch him. That's where I see it, right? And the striking accuracy is low too, right? Striking accuracy 39% from Rountree. It's concerning, right? When you're coming forward and just throwing big shots, yeah, you're going to have lower percentage, and that's how Pereira is going to be able to attack you and counter you, and he does have a 63% striking accuracy, which is very high, one of the highest in the UFC. I would say Pereira wins this fight 9 out of 10 times. Rountree does have that chance due to his power, and some guys don't have that power that can catch Pereira and just knock him out, but Rountree does. So he could win this fight, guys. I would be shocked, yes, but there's a shot because of that power and him coming forward, right? There is that shot. We've seen Pereira knocked out before from Izzy, and it wasn't a huge shot. It was just a nice counter, wasn't expecting it. Always a chance, guys. Again, a couple things to mention here regarding Rountree's losses, and that were concerning, but again, it was 2021, 2020. He's found something as of late. Kutalaba TKO'd him, and Johnny Walker knocked him out. Keep that in mind. You don't really improve your chin much over the years, but if Pereira catches him with a clean shot, he could go night-night. I have a hard time seeing this fight going 5 rounds. Very difficult seeing it go 5 rounds. So I would lean on the under. Even if I wouldn't see it getting to the championship rounds either, 4 and 5. Under the 3.5 or wherever you could get it. I do believe this fight does not go that deep with these guys' power. Unless somehow Pereira decides to get this fight down to the ground and slow it down, it's possible. But if these guys are standing and begging for 5 rounds, hard to see it go 5 rounds. I'd be shocked. We haven't seen Rountree go 5 rounds, so it would be surprising if it goes all 5 rounds. The play has to be Pereira here. If you want to improve it, look at the finish price. Co-main event, Pennington minus 170 versus Pena plus 140. Tough call in this one just because the 2-year-long layoff on Pena. I don't like to get involved with these long layoffs. It's very difficult to confirm how they're going to come back. So I don't like to get involved with my own money, my clients' money, and you podcast listeners as well for free picks. It's just very difficult to confirm how she's going to come back. Pennington's riding a high, just won the belt, 6-fight win streak, right? Obviously, Pena's coming off that tough loss to Nunes. She got knocked down 3 times in that fight. Pena also, making money outside the cage as a mom. There's a lot of things here that has me concerned, but it's a plus money price. So it's plus 140. You're not taking a big shot. You're not betting Pena as a favorite here. And the books realize that, right? The books realize all those concerns here. So if you're backing Pena at plus 140, wouldn't call you crazy. She has the tools, obviously, to win this fight, right? If she gets this fight down to the ground, I think that's going to be where she would want it to be. I do believe Pennington's the better striker, has some power on the feet also to hurt Pena. And Pennington's going to be more physical in there, right? She could get this fight boring style against the cage. If it does get down to the ground, Pena does have that live submission, but Pennington also has a nice submission game as well, right? So if I were to bet this fight, I would have to lean the Pennington way. However, the price doesn't I'm not excited about betting her at this price. That's why I'll be passing on this fight. I do believe this probably goes over in rounds. Fight goes, it's tough. It's very tough to see. You got to see how Pena is going to come into this fight. Now, I have been following her training camp. It seems to be good, but we don't really know. Another concern here, Pennington, about 3 months ago, almost, she had surgery. It wasn't into detail, but I did see that. So that's also a little bit of a concern. How healthy is Pennington coming into this fight? This is all just a path to me. Pass. It's just, there's too many concerns in this fight that you want to put your hard-earned money on. Right? So just stay away from this one. Unless you want to take an underdog shot, that's probably the only way. Even though I do lean Pennington, but if you're betting it and you want to take a shot small unit on Pena, sure. It's just not getting my money. And of course, like I mentioned, I do lean the over in rounds on this fight. Batista minus 130 versus Aldo plus 120. And the question always is, when is Aldo ever going to slow down? I don't know. He's not showing it, right? Unbelievable. He proved last time in the same situation. Martinez, Batista, same type of situation, guys. Martinez last time out, mind you, a lot of talk about Martinez being that next guy, fun striker, excellent striker. He's going to beat Aldo, and then we saw what happened. Now, mind you, he was in Brazil. Aldo obviously was backed by the crowd. Aldo's backed by the average fan. He's backed by everybody. He's probably going to have more fans in Utah, let's be honest. He was the underdog in that fight, even a bigger underdog, and won that fight. Right? He continues to prove the books wrong. He is a very tough guy for me to bet against, unless it's a top guy, right? A top guy in the division. Batista's not a top guy in his division. He hasn't showed me enough. I like Batista. I think he's very well-rounded. Just the resume isn't good enough for me to bet him as a favorite against Aldo. Sure, he could win this fight, but he hasn't proved to me he can win against a guy like this caliber, even at his age, right? His best win is over Ricky Simone, guys. Let's be honest here. Ricky Simone is his best win. It's just a huge step up versus a guy like Aldo. Could also have that deer in the headlights theory, right? Martinez, Batista. Aldo was his, obviously you look up to that guy, right? These guys fight similar too, right? So you got to understand, Aldo, deer in the headlights, looking at, I'm facing Aldo across. That is a factor. A lot of mind games. Mental game in fighting. That could be a factor here as well. And the big reason why you would the only way to bet this fight is Aldo plus the money, is Batista's takedown defense. Aldo's takedown defense at 91%. Batista's going to want to look for takedowns, right? You got Aldo at 91% takedown defense. Is Batista going to be able to get this fight down to the ground? If this is a kickboxing fight for 3 rounds, you would think Aldo probably would win the fight. Right, so Batista would have to mix it up, and we've seen some success with Batista and getting takedowns. So is he able to take down Aldo? Time will tell, right? But you haven't showed me it yet, Batista. Maybe you win this fight. Maybe you are ready for those top 5 guys, but you're going to have to get past an Aldo first. And you haven't showed me enough through resume and even on the tape that you're ready. to win this fight. Could you? Of course you could. You could, prove Aldo wrong and his fans and most handicappers, I think, on this fight. It's hard to back Batista as a favorite here. Very difficult. Prove to me first is what I like before betting favorites, especially against veterans like Aldo. Vieira plus 170 versus plus 700, versus Harrison minus 1,200. Yikes. A fight you can't bet it at this price, right? It's just very difficult to bet it at this price. Sorry for the phone there, guys. My favorite bet here would probably be the over 1.5 rounds. Even when you look at an outcome, it's not easy to predict an outcome here. It could go the decision. It's very difficult to predict that. So I would have to look at, the over 1.5 rounds, because I do believe how this fight's going to play out is Harrison trying to get the fight down to the ground. Right? Harrison attempting to get the takedowns, and Pereira does have a 92% takedown defense, guys. So it's going to be a great matchup. Let's see if she's able to avoid those takedowns. Pereira's going to want to keep the fight standing, where she probably has the better boxing. But we know how physical and strong and how great Harrison looks coming into these fights. Definitely watch weigh-ins for this one. You want to see how she looks coming into this fight. But Harrison's someone you always would like to back if you can. It's just you're getting priced out of this fight, right? There is value on if you're really confident on a decision or TKO takeover finish. Are you confident anywhere? Not really, right? Because Harrison could get this. If she does have success getting this fight down to the ground, she'll just get a TKO stoppage, in my opinion. If she doesn't have success to get the fight to the ground, maybe here and there, 1 or 2, and Pereira's able to get up, Harrison probably wins by decision. You're kind of flipping a coin there, right? The better price is the TKO KO finish. You get that like plus 250 out there. So you want to take a shot. I think that's the way to look. But this fight could go to decision. That's why I like the over in rounds as the best play here. You're going to pay up a little bit for that, but could be a good parlay piece this week. First fight to open up the main card, we got Holland minus 140 versus Dolitz plus 110. Random one here, right? Random one here. Dolitz will want to get this fight down to the ground, in my opinion. Obviously, be careful with the submission off the back on Holland, or maybe make it very ugly. He's going to have the strength advantage, the physicality advantage in this one. Holland wins this fight at range, in my opinion. He uses length, some of his boxing. Submission could be live for him as well. Hard time maybe seeing him submit Dolitz. Dolitz does have some good grappling. This could be an ugly one. Dolitz is coming down from 205 to 185. Watch the weigh-ins. He could struggle to make that weight. He's a big guy, thick guy. So watch the scales if you want to bet this one. Dolitz will be the much bigger guy in there either way, physically stronger. Could just try to get the fight down to the ground and hold him there. He just, personally to me, he's not really skilled anywhere. He's just physically strong, has some power on the feet, very low volume, just over 3 significant strikes per minute. So I can see Holland just winning this fight on volume and just dancing around and be able to avoid the takedowns and big shots. But, Dolitz has the opportunity to get this fight down to the ground and just hold him there with his strength and his grappling, right? So, plus 120 Dolitz, it's not great. It's not a high plus money price, but that's the only way I could really look if I had to bet this fight. Do you ever like betting Kevin Holland as a favorite? I don't. Now, last fight, I hit against the Polish fighter. I hit a plus 700, I think, submission ticket on him. And I saw value there because the Polish fighter got submitted like 5-6 times. So I played that. Here, hard to see him submitting Dolitz, in my opinion. So I'm not going to take a shot with those big tickets. Those big tickets are rare. It's when I find value. Here, this fight's not going to make my client card. I'm going to lean Dolitz to plus 120, but I'm not thrilled about it. It's not a fight that I'll be backing. Watch the scales. Very important in this fight. Just like the Harrison fight, this fight's probably a little more important to watch on the scale to see how Dolitz looks, coming down from 205 to 185. Big guy. And he'll have that physicality advantage because of that. And strength. I probably lean the over in rounds on this one as well. Neither guy I can see really finishing the other. So lean the over in rounds. That will do it, guys. That will do it. Another pay-per-view card in the books. Hopefully we continue this run that we had all year. Also look out for the NFL video tomorrow. It will be out, the breakdown video, back in the profitable winning circle last week in the NFL. Nice to get back. Expect many more weeks, good weeks to come. Like I always say, guys, bet smart and know your limits. Enjoy this pay-per-view card.